So anyway, everyone share your closing thoughts. That's all the questions I have. And if I remember the point that I forgot, I'll share that as well.
Yeah, closing thoughts for sure. It's going to be one of the most beneficial decisions that you would take, but also treat it as, an equal exchange. If you were about to buy a car, you would do all the research about like car salesmen and what kind of car you need. You would spend time, talking to people and seeing, hey, what helped you? Do you have a referral? Do you have best practices? YouTube is a great place to just see, from the perspective of professionals, what they think are like red flags from a therapist, or what kind of signs you should be looking for in effective therapy. So do your own research. You deserve the very best, and if you go down that track, good luck.
You bring up a very good point. You don't buy a bad car and then say, you know what, cars are stupid, and you don't say that, but rather you try to look at why it was not the right car for you, or maybe exchange it with another car, or figure out another solution. Similarly, in therapy, if you might not find the right therapist on the first day, and maybe you would as well, but statistically, it is possible that you might not find your right therapist. And if that does happen, don't lose belief in therapy, but rather find the therapist that you want and you need. And potentially, if there's something bothering you, maybe like learn the theoretical knowledge behind it. There are a lot of labels out there with like starting off with like depression, anxiety, to more specific things. And maybe having the theoretical knowledge that you learn on Google for like a lack of better phrase, even that could be helpful, where you could give clarity to like what is happening, and could also help you speed up the process, where you could potentially maybe explain what's happening to the therapist in a better way. Anyway, Ilakkiya?
I'd like to speak a little bit on kind of getting started with therapy in a way. If any issues that you think are bothering you, those are things that if you feel like you can't talk to anyone in your life about, or maybe they're the causes of your issues and you don't want to talk about it with them, consider therapy. It's not a magic bullet that will cost like. Okay, bad phrasing. It's very important for you to do, and you have to go into it with the right mindset, and you need to go in there intending to succeed as much as possible in a way with whatever issues that are harming you. And I know a lot of people mention journaling, but in the times that I've gone to therapy, they say, write out your thoughts, like what's been bothering you and what's been happening in your life before you come to therapy, because odds are you may not be experiencing that issue on the day or the time that you actually have a therapy session. So writing down your feelings when you're experiencing them, or whenever the issue is happening, will allow you to capture exactly what you were thinking and what you were feeling, what caused it, who was around, where were you. Like capturing all those details will make it so much more easier for the therapist to help you and for you to better understand what you're going through. So journaling doesn't have to be, paper and pencil. I have the secret notebook that I hide from everyone. It can be any number of ways, whatever works for you. You can write it in a journal. Some people, if you're familiar with Discord as a platform, they create a server just for themselves, for them to write their thoughts. You can do that. You can send emails to yourself. Diary servers, they're a thing I heard about recently. So don't be stuck to the traditional way of journaling. Maybe consider what works for you, but it's very important to try and do that. It'll also help you identify when things are chronic issues, and that definitely require therapy as a way to help you address and solve those issues. So be reflective.
Those are some really good points. My closing thought is just one thing. If you need the help, get the help. Don't let something stop you. And right now in 2021, maybe you might need to find an online therapist at the start. And if that is the case, maybe do that too, because at the end of the day, sharing is the most important thing, and figuring out those are the more important things. And sometimes being physically there helps. And one thing we didn't really talk about much was maybe you might be a person where like if a therapist hugs you, you feel better, and if there are some things that if this is you, maybe you can share that with the therapist, and if the therapist is okay with it, because they would not they are human as well. So if they're okay with it, maybe they might do that as well. But anyway, if we can take one thing from this conversation, I would say this is the one thing: if you need help, get help. Don't let anything stop you. Okay, thanks so much for joining this discussion. I had a wonderful time. I learned a lot from both of you. You guys had a lot of interesting perspectives. So I hope everybody else who watched this video learned a good amount as well. And if you are a person who needs help, don't forget what we said. And if you're a person who needs to encourage someone to get help, don't forget what we said. Thanks so much for joining, and you have a wonderful day.
Thanks for watching. For more discussions, make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Also, make sure to like and comment more topics that you'd like to see us discuss. We'll see you next time.